Hey guys, this is Brian Sykes with the AI Lab. Just this past week, I wrote an article called The Human Element, Creating the Script. And I walked through how I created this video.
The human element will fade before unstoppable AI. My passion is crushed by cold efficiency. Creativity bows to analytics. My resilience will collapse under looming self-doubt. Looming self-doubt will collapse under my resilience. Analytics bows to creativity. Cold efficiency is crushed by my passion. Unstoppable AI will fade before the human element.
And this comes from inspiration from The Unstoppable Dream, an ad by Honda. And I'm going to play it real fast for you.
You won't remember my name. This is the last time you will see me at the top. My doubts will destroy my dreams. The more I seem to learn, the more I seem to lose. I want to carry on, but not today. This is the point I give up. But not today. I want to carry on. The more I seem to lose, the more I seem to learn. My dreams will destroy my doubts. You will see me at the top. This is the last time you won't remember my name.
So I believe that may be one of the most perfect ads I've ever seen. I love the story, and what I love particularly about it is the twist at the end of the thing. And I wanted to do the same thing, but I wanted to focus around AI and the human element. So there's a lot of conversation around this space where AI is the enemy and it's this bad thing, but AI is technically just a tool. The human element is the key that makes this thing work. So I wanted to create something along those lines. And so I created this little video. I wanted to walk you through a little bit of how this actually went down. The whole process is involved. The first part of this was working with multiple large language models to see if I could find a way to create the script. I had a basic idea in mind, and I tried it with my favorites and a few that just wanted to see what it could do. So Claude, I love the way it's very personable and engaging, but this was a little heavier lifting than it was ready to handle. Gemini just wasn't happening. And so I even used DeepSeek. It didn't understand the concept at all. And this is what I kept having with all the other large language models, is it would create something that had a negative defeatist tone in the beginning, and then in restating it, it was even worse. It like amplified the negative, and it was like, not only do I find myself in a defeatist state, but I am totally beaten. ChatGPT. I started with 4.0 and began the conversation and was getting the exact same results. ChatGPT 0.1. This is one that has a lot more processing capability and is able to understand and do a deeper dive into the conversation. And with this, it understood the direction I wanted to take it. I explained to it that I had seen the ad for Honda, and I gave the copy that I wrote out for it to read, and it gave me an example. And the first example it gave me, both sides were terrible, like very weak, very watered down. And so I gave it more information, and it gave me a reversible set of lines. It actually understood the concept, and much, much better. I told it, this is really decent, but can you create something more? I wanted to focus on specifically who the target audience is going to be, what the thing is that I want to concern itself with, which in this case is the adoption of AI, and concerns felt and expressed there, and then really a strong emphasis on the human element. What you just heard in the copy was what it created for me. And so the end of this is, I love it. This is really well done. And the copy that it produced was something I was pretty content with. I took the copy and I went to ElevenLabs. Now, ElevenLabs is a great platform for submitting copy or words and having it voice it for you. And I chose a voice that I thought had a great personality, a good cadence, and I liked the way it read. And then I went to Udio and had it write me music. Now the music I wrote is prescribed. I'm telling it I'm wanting something that's haunting, almost sad and melancholy, and I'm looking for a 30-second spot. And then I wanted the influence of a guitarist like would play for Pink Floyd. So it gets that really moody, dramatic sound in the background. And then after the 30 seconds, I had to extend the video in order to reach the rest of the story, or kind of do the Paul Harvey twist. And there I was looking for the solo to get more uplifting and more positive and engaging. And it was able to do that. Now, where did my images come from? This is inside of Midjourney, and I created a series of images, and I really like the vibe of those images, and you can see them here. And I actually, from those images that I created my own mood board. And so this is simply called Textured Style, and I love the combination of the blue-gray and orange and black. It's just a clean look. I love the textures and the personality that's kind of exhibited with these. So with that mood board, I could then go into my prompting, and I could then ask for what I'm looking for. In this case, here's a character, abstract, modern cartoon, close-up of a bald, salt and pepper, short crop, bearded designer sitting on a bench in the park, drawing in a sketchbook, sun is shining, bright sunny day, and a sense of joy, background of a park full of trees by a large metropolitan city. Aspect ratio is 16:9. It's style raw, stylized 300, and I'm using the mood board textured style. And so this is allowing me to create these images. And I was able to get a fairly consistent look with the character and with the things I have him doing. So these became reference images that I could then take over to another one of my favorite tools. This is Luma Labs. So let me minimize this for a second. And this is Dream Machine by Luma Labs. And with this, you'll see up here, I can actually use a reference image. So there's the reference image. I can drop it in. This could be a reference image that I've created inside of Midjourney. And then I give it a prompt. Handheld camera, move left, following a man trudging slowly through the rain at night, emotionally charged, sadness, abstract, modern cartoon. And one of these, it just has the camera moving the guy stationary while it's raining. But look at this other image. This is really not bad. It's got a good flow to it. It's very much an animated, cartoony look. I like the feel of this. And it fully captured the style or the essence of that textured style that I created inside of Midjourney. The other thing that I love about this tool is once you've got a render that you like, and these render at 5 to 10 seconds, is there's an upscale option. Now with upscale, you'll notice I can upscale to 1080p, or I can go up to a full 4K. And so for all the images that were used in this, I created a 4K render. Okay, and let me take you back to some of the other things. So there's a lot of video that was created in this. This is another camera pull out and follows a bald, and it said man, but it removed that. Walking slowly in the pouring rain, abstract modern cartoon, emotionally charged. Again, this right here, I love the way his face is so expressive and he turns his eyes to look up. This is very moody. Again, this is the fun thing with this is you get to render and try multiple things to get to the result that you're after. And as I'm going through this, nothing's happening here. This has got his fingers moving, but they turn to a totally different style. I didn't like where it was going. So if I didn't like something, I could just click on Show More. It's going to work with the existing prompt, all the details, and it'll run it again. And this time I get one where he's got a little more facial motion. You can see the wrinkles in his forehead moving. You can see like he's thinking deeply. He's feeling something emotionally. I like what's happening with that. So that one was upscaled. All these different renders give me a lot of content that I can then use to put together to create a story. A lot of these video pieces that I really liked didn't actually go into the finished story. And so the fun thing is trying to get the right spin around, get the right activity that's happening that can be a part of the storyline that I'm trying to tell. But here's the neat thing about this is with these, I could take and cut out this part with computer screens just kind of blinking and flashing if I wanted that element. So with an animated style, you've got a lot of flexibility of things that you can do. You have a lot of fails, but that's a part of working with AI. It's not everything works exactly as you would like. Like this guy looks like he's riding down the road, sitting on a bench. Definitely not the direction that I wanted to go. Part of this is just an ongoing test and try. Give it a go and see what happens. And then you can refine the prompt as you get results. We get a lot of different images that we're able to work with, a lot of things that are happening. And from these collections, we find the ones that work best for our intended purpose and then piece them together. So here I've got the layered images that were made into videos. There's the audio that was produced using Udio for the background. There's the voiceover from ElevenLabs. And this whole thing, I actually utilized CapCut in order to structure the whole process. So CapCut's not my go-to, but sometimes I want to do something fast and down and dirty. This is a great place to do this. And so here, it's just the animation. I like what I was doing with the animation, but I wanted to see if I could do the same thing and create a video that looks more real. So with that, I went ahead and decided to do the whole thing inside of Luma Labs. I started by creating an image. And I know as when you're working with any tool, you can kind of get it onto a routine. In other words, I've given it a definition, cinematic photograph of a close-cropped, salt and pepper bearded man that is bald, wearing an orange athletic sweater. The man is of medium athletic build and looks to be of 40. His face looks thoughtful and intelligent, but sad. Color grade is gray and orange with hints of muted, desaturated versions of other colors. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to visually create the guy that looks like the guy from the cartoon or the animated piece I've already done. And from this, I decided to find the one that worked best for me. Now, once I've got a guy that I like, then I can just simply use that image. And you'll notice underneath here, there's some options. Modify, make video, reference, more like this, or download. Now with this, I like the look of the image and I told it to make a video, and you're able to then put together the framework for what that video should be. This starts off with the image reference that I just showed you, cinematic photograph of a close-cropped salt and pepper bearded man that is bald, wearing an orange athletic sweater. I know I've already stated this. All of this at the beginning is the exact same thing. Now, why I wanted to do that is I wanted to stay onto this is my character and this is what I wanted to be consistent with. Color grade is gray and orange with hints of muted, desaturated versions of other colors. The man is working at his iMac computer. The camera pulls back to see the man looking at his iMac computer, typing. Camera pans around the man to look over his shoulder and see what he's working on. Now, this portion, it ignored that last line altogether. I never got it to actually do that part with the video. But you can see through these that we've got variations of this man. What I love about this is it gives me a lot of options to choose from. And the quality of the video is such that, especially this is upscaled at 4K, that's impressive quality. And so the details are there for me to be able to use this inside of a video. Next is I want to take that same character and put him in different environments, doing different things. So walking, I wanted to have a picture of him in the rain and then turn that image into a person walking in the rain. When you've got a stationary bit of information, like here you see these drops that's in the background, it's not sure if it's supposed to be on the picture like in a different layer or if it's just supposed to be stationary. So some of those it doesn't know what to do with, and you'll have a few things where everything looks great except for that part and it just kind of stays in place. But again, these are some really good renders and some possibilities to work with. And what's nice is by running this multiple times, you're going to be able to find things that are doable. Create some more static images, put them in some different positions and see how it works. Refine those prompts until we get the guy doing what we're after, and then create video. So this is just a part of that creative process of figuring out what you want to keep, what you don't want to keep. Here he is smiling. Here he's drawing in the park. Again, having that consistent thing. I put him in an orange shirt for a reason, because that's the easiest thing to reproduce over and over again, and your eyes are forgiving. You're going to blend it together because it's supposed to be in the same story, so your eyes will kind of fill in the gaps. And there's really probably a good 10 minutes worth of video that I could have used. To get more of the details on this, you can read the article on the human element, and now for the video.
The human element will fade before unstoppable AI. My passion is crushed by cold efficiency. Creativity bows to analytics. My resilience will collapse under looming self-doubt. Looming self-doubt will collapse under my resilience. Analytics bows to creativity. Cold efficiency is crushed by my passion. Unstoppable AI will fade before the human element.
Brian Sykes and the AI Lab.